All right, what is going on? How y'all doing today? It is Monday, last day of January. Man, it seems like 2022 just started. And already we're at the end of January, man. It's just crazy how time just goes by so quickly. I mean, it just seemed like only a couple of weeks ago we were talking about the end of the regular season for the Falcons. And I know it was in the beginning of January still, but man, we have fast forwarded all the way to tomorrow being the 1st of February, which means a couple of things. One, we're closer to the Super Bowl, which we'll talk about in a couple of seconds. And two, closer to the April draft, which right now for the Falcons, that's the very next huge thing. I know we have a little free agency to do and some things to talk about as far as probably releases and things of that nature. But hey, it's upon us. How do we improve this team? I know it's frustrating as it is to talk about this stuff right after the season is over with. It's hard because I think everyone, you know how you hear the thing, no question is a dumb question. And I'm to the point where no idea is a stupid idea. In other words, and when I say stupid, some of y'all know some of the crazy stuff y'all come up with. But if somebody tells me, hey, running back is what we need, wide receiver is what we need, edge rusher is what we need, better secondary play is what we need, better coaching is what we need, another quarterback. There are no wrong answers. But I must admit I'm a little tainted because I want to know what position do you think will help turn this team around? And I'm going to preface this throughout the video to say I realize we have a plethora of things to correct on this team. And pretty much every position I just named, we can improve, get better, or whatever. So I know there are several things we can do to improve this team. However, I want to know specifically, looking throughout the playoffs, it's kind of hard to not notice the youthful trend at the quarterback position. And when I say youthful, I mean in their 20s. Doesn't necessarily mean just out of college. When I see Dak Prescott, when I see Joe Burrow, when I see Jimmy Garoppolo, when I see Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, just folks that are the future of the NFL. And some of them have just scratched the surface. The playoffs this year is not the end for them. They have a long career probably ahead of them and a lot of potentially better days ahead of them. By far, none of the folks I've spoken about have peaked yet. So we still have a lot of room to go. I can't help as a Falcons fan to be tainted in a certain way because of the losing. And I'm not one of these people that's going to sit here and totally point one finger at one person and say this particular person is the total reason we're losing. Let's jettison him out of here by himself. No, there are plenty of reasons why our team has failed in the last 4 years. Now, maybe the people that I mentioned have a heavy load to do with our success, but I'm not at a point where I can just point at one person and say, this is the reason why we're losing. It's hard to do that. You can't, and I can't say you can't do that, but you would almost be foolish. For example, we talk about the wide receiver situation this year. And without getting into the personal ramifications of what went on with Calvin Ridley, it was absolutely noticeable that he was one of the reasons why we weren't able to be successful this year. His presence was sorely missed, or a person of his caliber was sorely missed in this offense. And it's hard to make up for that in mid-season, especially when you know whether those things are what's going to evolve, how did it come to. So I feel like wide receiver is just one of those places where I say, hey, if we had better play, maybe we had some better results in that. Smitty, how you doing, brother? This is Antoine Smitty Smith with Smith's Sports Machine. Y'all give them some love on YouTube. Click that subscribe button to check them out. Great information all the time. How you doing, my brother? Ron Thomas, how you doing, brother? Says defensive tackle Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is somebody that definitely is on the radar. I'd like to see more of what scouts say, NFL scouts, after the combine. I'm sure, I guess they're going to have the combine this year finally, or at least some semblance of what it was a couple of years ago. Maybe Jordan Davis is somebody that the Falcons are looking for in the first round, but what else? I know Jordan Davis is one person, but what else do we need on this team? My brother Jimmy Wayne back in the house. Jimmy, you still doing the podcast? I got to check that out. If you are, let me know so I can make sure I let people know what we're doing on here. It says defensive back is a sore spot here. Here's why. We're minus AJ and Oliver, had no returning secondary members. It's not easy to plug and play as we saw. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, defensive back has been something that we seem like we finally got it in AJ. I think AJ has the potential to be one of the best defensive backs on this team in quite a long time. And yes, I'm talking about probably better than Trufant. And quite honestly, I have an affinity. I had an affinity for D'Angelo Hall. I thought D'Angelo Hall did a solid job. I'm not trying to tell you he was Darrelle Revis or anything, but I think he did a solid job while he was here. But he was on a couple of in-between teams too with not a lot of success. But D'Angelo did a great job when he was here. Smitty says Falcons need to add depth and talent at certain positions. I could agree with that. Depth is something that we always need. Again, when we start talking about the wide receiver position and what we didn't have when we went into camp, and we still had the rumors of what Julio was going to do. We knew Calvin was coming back. After the draft, you were like, man, we're going to have this monster offense with Calvin on one side, Julio on the other side, Kyle Pitts at tight end, and the future looked bright as far as what we were going to do. I think that was absolutely a factor in why we weren't that great this year. Jory, what's going on? Said, I'll say Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, or Sauce Gardner. I heard a lot about Sauce. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on what he brings to us. I like Nakobe Dean. I must admit, I'm a little concerned about his size. His size kind of worries me. I'm not overlooking his heart. or anything, but I do think I'm a little concerned about what he brings to the game as far as his size in the NFL. I think he would be an excellent person. I'm almost wondering at number 8, is that the reach we need? But yeah, we'll see. Brother Leroy, what's going on, brother? Say a great pass rusher helps by not giving opposing quarterbacks all day to complete a pass. A great cornerback helps by having one less receiver wide open. It helps whatever pass rush get 1 extra second to quarterback. Better blocking gives us an opportunity for a better running game and more time for a quarterback to throw. Better receiver allows for Pitts not to get doubled. We have needs on both sides. We have some good players that will continue to develop as well. We improved from a year ago, and in this second year of the new regime, I'm sorry, let me get this second part here. Of the new regime, we will get better. Oliver will be back. He will need a better running back. Our single great players in each phase are negated because we don't have what other teams have, more than one great player. AJ takes his side of the field away. That means everyone else is open. Grady gets tripled sometimes. Foye needs help. Other than Pitts, we had receivers that would be third string or less. Our top 2 receivers, O-line, Matt was hit 130 plus times, sacked way too much, penalized frequently, second offseason of free agency, draft, and releasing players. Let's see what they'll do. Yes, I read all of that. But there are no lies in this. There are no lies in what he's talking about. We basically need everything. And to wrap that up in a nutshell, there was nothing that he said that wasn't true. Absolutely on point, brother. You got that. Smitty says Brent Grimes made D Hall expendable. Yeah, he did. I mean, yeah, and I haven't forgotten about Brent Grimes. Brent Grimes was really good. Was really good for us for a couple of years. I think I'm just probably remembering D Hall because I think he was the number 1 pick, and I think he came with a little bit more expectation when he came into the team. So that's probably why I put him first when I said that. Jory said, I know that's not a Pepsi, not over a Coke. Let me show you what I do, Jory. So just to let you know, to answer your question. So right next to the Pepsi, there is a Coca-Cola. Cheers. And this is my vice, y'all. These diet sodas. I apologize for those of you who are against all of that, but brother, I gotta have my. So yes, I have Pepsi against Coke, like I have Mike Vick against Matt Ryan. So just joking before that argument starts. So we get into there. Sidarius, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you, man. Matter of fact, I want to thank everybody. Before I go any further, thank everyone for their birthday wishes this past weekend. Thank you so kindly. You know, it's one of those things on Facebook that's kind of underrated when it's your birthday. Yeah, you get things all during the week where you send things out and you get posts and you do these videos and talk about stuff. But it's almost like a present itself just to hear from people you haven't heard from, hear from people that you talk to every day, and everybody who's here in Atlanta Bird Gang, and especially those who join us on Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. We appreciate everyone. But thank you very much for a lot of the love for my birthday. Thank you so much. Yes, I am 25. But Smitty says, Dean is the same size as Roquan Smith, very versatile. He'll be okay. Remember London Fletcher. Oh, yeah. And look, I'm not saying size matters depending on what you're talking about. But in this particular case, I'm saying that's not the prototypical, probably. In Roquan, I would assume that Kobe would come here to play the middle linebacker's position. Is he a wheel? I'm not sure. But I would assume he would, but I could see him being versatile enough to do either one. Yeah, London Fletcher had a long career, especially with Washington and stuff. I don't, by no means am I saying size is the end all be all, but you take a chance. Listen, every small receiver isn't a great receiver. I mean, everybody's not a Steve Smith. Everybody's not I was about to say Taylor Gabriel, but Taylor wasn't great. He was just good in certain instances. But yeah, that's not knocking the guys for being small. You brought up some good examples, but I am concerned just to say we are in a point right now, Smitty. If you ask me, we can't take chances. We can take chances, but I want more. Too many times we reach for the Tack McKinleys, the Vic Beasleys, and folks that we say, yeah, we think they have the potential. I want ready-made now. I'm at a point with this team after 4 years of drafting. I want somebody that I know if I draft them in the first or second round on September whatever, 2022, they're starting for me and being productive. I can't do the potential anymore. The Marlon Davidson, love what he brings, but the potential, I can't do it anymore. Kaminsky, I know that was a stretch because it was a late round pick, but I kept hearing about the potential. Tack McKinley, I kept hearing about the potential. I want guys that can come in and be Chase Young, come in and be Michael Parsons. And when we're drafting in that first round, in the first half of the draft, we should be hitting more on those guys that are ready to play right now. I just don't see how we keep missing. And don't get me wrong, I think we hit right this year with the player Kyle Pitts. I think he's going to be a monster, especially once he gets a little protection from the wide receiver position. He's going to be great. So, yeah, I absolutely hear what you're saying about the small guy. Gabriel, what's going on? Say, got to address the pass rush. When have we drafted a game-changing pass rusher? And that's the thing, Gabriel. It's not like we haven't tried in drafting or through free agency. They tried with Vic. They tried with Tack. They tried with Fowler. It's not like they don't know what's going on. What I'd like to see this particular regime do is really focus on that one game record. That's why I say, in my opinion, if I started right now, despite all of the buzz about quarterback and a lot of things I don't disagree with, but I think that first pick, you've got to get somebody that can affect the passing game. You got to get that monster edge rusher. I wish it was some way we could package up something and get closer towards Hutchinson and Thibodeau. I would love to do that. I would love to. Somebody said, don't start that argument. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm tired today, man. I can't do it, man. Brother Sean, what's going on, man? How you doing today, brother? Good to see you up in the house in the Atlanta Bird Gang, as usual. Uncle Steve's Sports Lounge on YouTube. And thank you all for hooking me up there, too. We are getting closer and closer to 1,000 over there. So thank y'all very much. George says, if we can try to get George Pickens with one of our second-round picks, you may be able to get – you possibly could get him with a third rounder, maybe. I've seen both. I've seen a couple of places that rate him pretty high, and I've also seen a couple of places that have him third round, possibly fourth round. It's actually a deep draft for wide receivers. Wide receivers and defense is actually a really good draft, especially defense. We got to hit on the defense. But, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. D said, what do you think we should do? How you doing, D, on Uncle Steve's Lounge? Thank you for joining me, brother. Says, what do you think we should do with that 8th pick? Oh, I like the defensive end position. Honestly, BPA at that part, somebody who a motor can get me. I love, as I mentioned before, I love Hutchinson. I love Thibodeau. I would love an opportunity to get my hands on there, but it wouldn't hurt me if Nakobe Dean came in. If people think Jordan Davis passes the eye test for them, why not have, especially if you're doing this little mesh of 3-4, have a space heater in the middle to improve some things in there. Give Grady a little love. Give him a little space to do what he needs to do. I can see that working too. But I'm looking for an edge rusher, bro. Smitty said that's why they should trade back. Low risk, high reward. And at this point, trading back wouldn't bother me. I'm a little concerned about getting more than one first round pick. Now, if you traded back and were able to maybe load up on